Namaste, this is David Hawthorne at astroview.com. Today's the 9th of March 2014. Here's a Vedic astrology reading for the Malaysia Airlines Flight 370 that departed Malaysia on March 8th, 2014 at 12:41 a.m. Now this gives the 8th sign in the first house, so this is Scorpio rising sign. In the second house, Sagittarius. Third house, Capricorn, with Venus and Mercury. Fourth house, Sun in Aquarius. Fifth house, Pisces. Sixth house is Ketu in Aries. Seventh house is an exalted moon in Taurus. Eighth house is Jupiter in Gemini. Ninth house is Cancer. 10th house is Leo. 11th house is Virgo. And the 12th house is Libra, with an exalted Saturn retrograde at 29 degrees, Rahu at 5 degrees, 11 minutes, and Mars retrograde at 3 degrees and 14 minutes. Now for the Scorpio rising sign, we say that Sun ruling the 10th house, Moon ruling the 9th house, Mercury ruling this 11th house, Jupiter ruling this 2nd house, and Saturn ruling this 4th house are the favorable planets. But if any of these planets are weak or badly placed, it's not ideal. And what we find here is that Sun, which rules the 10th house of karma and action and professional life, although well placed in the 4th house of transportation, is ruled by Saturn in the 12th house of losses. And this is an utterly weak Saturn, not because he's retrograde, but because he's 29 degrees old age. Yes, he's exalted, but this is the 12th house. This is a Dustan Bhava. Of these 12 houses, 9 are favorable, but the 6th house, the 8th house, and the 12th house are Dustan Bhavas, inauspicious houses. Planets going into those houses become weak, and planets ruling those houses can cause adverse effects. So this is Aries ruled by Mars. So Mars for Scorpio becomes a functional malefic planet. And it's up in the 12th house, which is not ideal. So that brings losses connected with health, but also losses connected with fire, theft, cheating, accidents, enemies, disputes, terrorism. And that's in the 12th house. Plus this Mars is it's only 2 degrees from Rahu. Rahu is the planet of calamities, unexpected events. Rahu and Ketu can cause an eclipse. So this Rahu and Ketu are afflicting Mars. So this is not ideal, and Mars is afflicting Rahu and Ketu. So that compounds the problem. We also see that Jupiter ruling the 2nd house of continuation of life is in the 8th house of death. So this is a very weak position for Jupiter. No protection for continuation of life, family life. But this is what concerns me, is that Saturn, Rahu, and Mars are in the 12th house. And there's this very close affliction in this 12th house here. Let's look at the timing of events. You take the main period ruler, that's fine, that's Chandra, the moon, which is exalted in this chart, that's helpful. But if we look at moon down in the Navamsa chart, it has become weak in the 6th house. And this Rahu here in the 1st house of the Navamsa chart afflicts 5, 7, and 9 houses away. So it's afflicting Cancer, ruled by the moon. So that does weaken the moon in this chart. Over here we look at the sub-period ruler from March 2013 till September 2014. The operating planet is Rahu, and Rahu here is in the 12th house of losses and end of life. So this is not good here. So I think it's this Rahu-Mars connection here. So that Mars is also fires and explosions, and it rules the 6th house of enemies. So I think there could be some terrorism that took place that caused some bomb or some explosion, that type of thing. So of course our hearts and prayers go out to the people on this aircraft, and maybe something good will happen. Maybe they'll show up someplace, but it does not look favorable because Rahu is absolutely an eclipse. It's explosions, it's calamities, unexpected events. So, namaste.